yesterday's historic achievement as all of the hostages, the living hostages, have been returned home. I can't believe we're saying it. I can't believe we're here.
And this was a historic achievement. The fact that for 2 years, this was not an easy process. The prior administration was not able to get anywhere close to this. There were smaller hostage returns along the way, but just extended the war in many ways. But just so everyone knows, the ACLJ represented the families of 10 different hostages. 8 of those have been released and are back home throughout the course of this 2-year period, and 2 have sadly died as a result of being hostages. Yeah. But we did sadly learn that the remains of one of the hostages we represented was returned yesterday, and that gives closure to the family. That is something that the Israeli government was adamant about. But there's still 24 missing hostages that are dead that have not been returned. So that part of phase 1 isn't technically complete. Hamas said they need more time to locate the remains of those hostages, but that work is not done yet. However, the 20 living Israeli hostages were returned, 2 of which they were twin brothers. Their brother went with our team to Washington, D.C. early, met with Leader Johnson, the Speaker of the House, and was able to meet with Democrats, Republicans across the aisle advocating for the release of these hostages. And 20 living Israeli hostages were returned after 2 years in captivity. Israel freed nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners as a part of this brokered swap. Some of those were individuals that were captured during this war. Others had been in prison a long time in Israel. But now is where, not that this part was easy, but comparatively, this was the easier part of what is a very ambitious plan from President Trump. Because now the work to get this broader peace in place and a different life for those in Gaza starts to begin. Now, you know that Israel has already withdrawn to a certain demarcation line. They are not all the way in Gaza. They are starting to pull back their troops. As a part of this plan, they will continue as different achievements and different benchmarks are met, withdraw further. The hard part now is Hamas disarming. Hamas needs to disarm and cede their control over Gaza. They were elected by Gazans about 20 years ago when Israel fully withdrew from Gaza, but they never gave up power. And they have this power. They did not want to let go of the power. They were dictators in Gaza. They ruled with an iron fist. It was their way only. The Islamic resistance was the credo and the motto and the entire ideology of their government. So that is a big deal that we have gotten this far even, and that they even signed on to this agreement to begin. But the real hard work, it's not as if, okay, now we're at this point, let's just hand it off, and okay, now we'll just lay down our arms and move on. We saw that Hamas executed in the street over 30 people that they believed worked with Israel on this, of their own people yesterday. So they aren't disarmed yet. Can they actually get there? Do they actually want to say, look, we are the ones that got the Palestinian cause this far, and it was because of our terror and because of our resistance that we got it there, and take a proverbial win for themselves? Not that you want to give them that, but will they get to that point, or will they keep thinking from the river to the sea and keep resisting and have internal conflict and can't get over that next hurdle? And that's a big step.
I think keep thinking it, absolutely. Acting on it will be different when you have all of these other countries. When you saw what happened yesterday, right. President Trump flies to Egypt, and there's just every flag imaginable behind him pretty much. That's a lot of countries,
right,
who are going to be holding you accountable. You have to be concerned that if you start violating it, if you have any care for your own life, and look, I think they don't, but I also think there is a group of people, like you said, we're at like the 7th string Hamas right now, that they maybe do care a little bit more about their own human life, and maybe they're not going to violate it any further. That may be wishful thinking. We will see. I think we'll see pretty quickly. What you got to give it, though, is that it's only been a few months. It's been 10 months of a President Trump term. And he was able to get this done. I think for those who've said, yeah, was it day one? No, but it was year one. And I think that is, equally as impressive